Hello and welcome to Soul Sensations. Today I am with singer, songwriter and music producer Issy Martin. Hello Issy.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Hot Sunday. Yeah, it's a hot Sunday here in California.
Everybody says that. It's a cold Sunday here in Newcastle. Yes, it's wet and it's cold. So I do.
Oh wow.
I wish I was over there with you.
I know. It's
Actually,
beautiful though.
Oh, I know. Whereabouts in California are you? I know you're in LA, but are you on the beach side of it, or are you downtown?
I live in Anaheim Hills, which is kind of up in the hills, not too far from, I'd say Disneyland.
Yeah.
And that area.
Yeah,
I'm going
to show myself up here. Now, is that towards Pasadena or is that Orange County?
No, that's Orange County.
Orange County. I knew it was one of them. See, I'm learning.
Orange County.
Now, tell you what, let's. Well, go on. Sorry, mate. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I used to stay up in L.A. County, but it got to be so many people. I left.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I tell you what, I can understand it, but I can understand it, but it's madness. That highway, the freeway that you've got, I forget what number it is, which is always full.
Oh my God! All of them now.
Is it? And it's like 10 lane of traffic, and it stretches for miles.
Oh yeah.
I think I was traveling from downtown LA. I was only going to not Pasadena. I forget the name of it, El Paso. There's a Mexican area. It says El Paso, yeah. And it was only supposed to be an hour drive, and it took me 2.5 hours. It was just back to back.
To the grocery store. That's why I moved to Orange County. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's go to Orange County because I've heard so much about it. I've come across there. Right, anyway, we're deviating here. Right, let's tell you what. Let's get on with it. Let's talk about your childhood. So let's kick off. Where were you born?
I was born in a little town called Coffeyville, Kansas.
All right.
And it was down in the southeast corner of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. And in that little area, more great musicians came out of that area than probably the whole United States.
Who were there apart from you? Who were the three?
Well, you had Leon Russell. He was born in Tulsa, which is not too far away. You had all the great country artists, Roy Clark, Porter Wagner, Dolly Parton. All these people worked out of that area. And then in Kansas City, you had all the blues and jazz players. You had all the greats that did all the nightclub areas, and Bobby Blue Bland and B.B. King, and all those guys came through. They came all through that area, and that was part of the Chitlin circuit. We had a lot of great guys out of there.
So was Kansas like the jazz capital? Because I don't know that much about jazz, but did it come out of Kansas mainly in its early days?
No.
Or was it...
Well, originally what happened with me, being where I was from, I was actually born in the area of country western music. As a young person growing up learning guitar, all my teachers were famous country western artists.
Yeah.
And so I actually started learning how to play country western before anything. And I got beat up by my dad because he wanted me to learn blues, and he thought, why am I wasting all this money for you to learn country western? I want some blues. Yeah. So that's how I grew up, and from there it just went on.
Yeah. You started the guitar and singing at the early age of 9. So
yes.
who were your musical influences?
Well, at that time, like I said, I had people like Bobby Blue Bland. I used to love people like Ray Charles and Charlie Parker. All these guys that had these great musical talents, I used to copy from their instruments to my guitar. So instead of just learning from guitar players, I listened to all types of musicians and try to pick up, you know.
That would have been quite difficult to do at a young age, wouldn't it? Like trying to copy the guitar when somebody's playing the piano.
Oh, I love it. I'm telling you, my dad had to put me in the garage because I kept playing so much.
Get him out of there. Get him out. Get him out.
Yes, that's what he was saying. After a while, he said, put him outside. So from there, I just graduated. You know, I started playing public stuff when I was 9, 10 years old. I was playing live.
Yeah. Is that when you were in high school?
Yeah.
I think the last 2 years of your high school? Yeah?
Yes.
Tell me about the Rising Suns.
I was in a group called the Suns, the Rising Suns, which was a huge rock and roll horn band in the 60s and late 60s, and we were like rock and roll stars throughout the Midwest. And from there, I started traveling more, and that's when I started running into all the Motown artists that we would open shows for, perform for.
Now, wasn't the Rising Suns admitted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or one of them?
Yes, we're in 4 of them. We're
4?
We're in the Kansas Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is very popular. We're in the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're in the South Dakota Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we're also in the Lions Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of America.
That is a lot of fame.
Yeah, it is. But it's all been fun.
Tell me what happened. Do you know when you toured the USA and Canada, who was this group, Bump City?
Well, Bump City was... It kind of originated from the Suns. We came out to California to play, and we discovered that we loved California. And some of the guys that were in the group were not crazy about California and wanted to go back home and do other things. So myself and a guy named Walter Downing, whose brother was Big Al Downing, country singer on Hee Haw and all those, and we formed a funk band called Bump City. And Bump City became a very popular funk band during the early 70s. We played throughout the entire Canada, and we played one-nighters, probably 200 nights a year, one-nighters.
Wow.
And we became a very tight funk band, which later on actually became the group with Norman called Mama Tappy. And,
I was going to bring them up.
That's another story, too. Yeah. Because after I left Bump City, I joined Norman Whitfield's Undisputed Truth.
Yes.
And
I was just about to bring that up there.
Yeah. So once that happened, and Norman, and we were out touring, Norman found something different in me, and so asked me if I could bring a new group to his label, which became Mama Tappy. But that all came through the whole process of being with the Undisputed Truth and becoming a studio musician for Norman and then writing for Norman. And it was much fun learning from that genius.
Now, everybody will know Undisputed Truth because I play them on the station all the time. How did Undisputed Truth form? Now I know it was it the brainchild of Norman Whitfield, or was it yourself?
Well, actually, it wasn't me at all. I hadn't even gotten into that group. There was a group. The very first Undisputed Truth was a guy named Joe Harris, and Joe Harris.
All right.
There was Billy Calvin, and I forget the other girl, but it was only 3 people back in Detroit. And they were not called the Undisputed Truth at that time. They were another group. And Norman picked them up and brought them into Motown and kind of experimented with the Undisputed Truth as a stepping stone to how he wanted to fuse jazz, funk, and soul, kind of like what Sly and the Family Stone was doing at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Undisputed Truth kind of originated out of that particular idea from Norman.
Because I'm almost certain, I might be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. Some of Undisputed Truth's tracks is classed as salsoul.
Yes.
From Mr. Joe Batan's quarter. And I found that out. I'm sure it was because when I was talking to Joe the other week, you were brought up. I'm sure it was. Yes, I'm sure it was. Anyway, I'm digressing again. So let's talk about let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. Why is playing the guitar so important to you?
Well, the days of growing up when I came up, you were either playing sports or you were playing a musician. And I was too light to fight and too thin to win, as they used to say back in those days. And I found out that being a guitar player brought as many people to you as sports. But the instrument just became my livelihood from the time I picked it up. I just couldn't put it down. And I think even today, I'm even better today than I ever was because I'm still learning how to play my instrument. It's like an endless party. And it's just a part of me that I think was a God-given talent, as they say. And I've always kept it next to me like a wife. That's probably why I always got in trouble with the girls.
That's what's probably
girlfriend because they were jealous of my guitar.
Just because your guitar. Well, I'm sure it was Eric Clapton that said something that you never stop learning to play the guitar. There's always something there that you don't know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When I first heard Eric Clapton, also way back in the days of Vanilla, Eric Clapton, and when he was playing with all the Butterfield Blue bands and jamming in England, I said, okay, I've got to learn that. And then I heard a guy named Mike Bloomfield, and Mike Bloomfield blew me away with the Electric Flag when he was playing with the jazz sessions and Al Cooper and all those guys. And that grabbed me right there from the beginning. I just could. That was it. I'm hooked. I'm going to be a guitar player forever.
What's your thoughts on slide guitar? Because one of my favorite guitarists is Ry Cooder.
My favorite guitar, my Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul, and my favorite guitar player with the Gibson Les Paul is Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page. See, I love Ry Cooder. For some reason, I like Ry Cooder.
Yeah.
That's going back to the days of shall we teach listeners about some guitar history here? How they used to use a broken bottle to slide the guitar. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you used to put the broken bottleneck over the finger and slide that up and down the frets.
I've been trying to learn that forever. I still have problems with it.
People just can cheat now and then.
I don't have a broken bottle, but I do have a glass slider that I put on my finger, and I'm still trying to learn.
It is difficult. It is difficult.
It is.
Let's chat about your songwriting, because I do believe you were behind two of my favorite films. Would you believe? Two of my favorite films. Car Wash, and Richard Pryor's Which Way Is Up. How did
Which
how
Way
did that
Is
come
Up?
Yeah.
Once again, being around Norman, when I first got over to Norman Whitfield's label, what had happened was I was doing a lot of studio work, and I was writing on the side, and Norman liked the way I was writing, and he was teaching me how to, so they say, complete a song, because I would get in the middle of a song, and I didn't know how to take it to the end at that time. And so being around him, he took me into the studio, and he started liking my guitar playing. And when we did Richard Pryor's Which Way Is Up, that's actually my lead guitar solo on that track. And I did that inside the studio with no effects on the guitar. And I think I did it in 1 or 2 takes. And it's one of my favorite solos as far as those days.
It's phenomenal. If the listeners haven't seen that film, it's great for the music because you're involved.
Yes.
But also Richard Pryor is where he does in that film. I was just crying with laughter all the way through. It's typical Richard Pryor, isn't it? Right, I tell you what we're going to do. You see, we're going to have a little break now for some music. And I'm going to play some of your tracks, some of your new music, some tracks from Undisputed Truth, and some other tracks as well. So I'll be back with you in around about 15 minutes' time. All right?
Sounds
You're going to stay with me?
Okay, I will
mate.
stay with you.
Cheers. See you soon.
Okay. All right, talk to you in a minute.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our, actually, I'm loving this interview with Issy Martin Jr. Welcome back, Issy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
We've covered off some of the stuff in the first part, but a little birdie told me that you did some time, not time doing time, but some time at A&M Records. What was that about?
Yes. Well, after I left Norman Whitfield, or Whitfield Records, we were signed with a agency. Don Taylor he was Bob Marley's personal manager. And Don got me a writing contract over at A&M Records for Tammy Publishing for about a year. I did some writing over there. And I forget the lady that I was working under, but she was very well-known publisher over there. Brenda. Oh, God, I forgot Brenda's last name. Sorry, Brenda. But anyway, so I stayed over there for about a year, and then Don Taylor got me, or my group, a contract with the capital I I can't even remember it now. The capital label I forget. It's been
EMI.
so long. EMI.
Right.
We had a contract with EMI, and we were in the middle of a new album recording at a new studio in Orange County, one of the first of its kind. And after we were about halfway through, EMI cut 125 groups. The economy was starting to crash, and we happened to be one of those groups. So from there, I just took a seat back and took some time off and started just doing my thing at home.
A lot of things happened then because EMI didn't last very much longer after that. I think it must have been down to something stupid that happened. But a few record companies folded at that time as well.
Yes, they did.
And EMI was one of them as well. So I'm going to start talking about your live performances. But what was your first live performance, and where was it?
My first one?
Yeah, your first one. Apart from no. No, we've had that one.
Okay.
When you were like professional.
I'd say one of my very first ones that I remember was I was backing up Claudia Lanier.
Yes.
She had just came out with her single album called Pew, and she heard my band, Bump City, playing at a club in L.A. Her manager heard. And so she came down and talked to us, and we became her backup band for her promotional tour on her new LP. And our first big concert was the Schaefer Festival in New York, in Central Park. And there was about 40,000 people out there or more. And we opened the show with REO Speedwagon, Blue Ulster Colt, Santana, and I believe Roy Ayers was on the show too. But it was a phenomenal concert, and once again, had the thrill of my life. Loved it.
Now, yes, you have worked with those bands, but I know you've worked with, excuse me, you've worked with Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and Chaka Khan, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Chaka Khan, sister, if you remember right, Taka Boom, she sang with us when we were at the Undisputed Truth.
Yeah.
And so I did some work with Chaka, just not too far after that. I did some work. I tell you what I did some great work with. This is a story I need to tell you.
Go on.
When I was doing my first recording, my very first professional recording was at the Ray Charles studio in Los Angeles. And we were recording for a new artist called Joel Webster. His name's Joel Webster, who later became a writer, songwriter, producer. Ray Charles had just come out with a new label he was signing new artists to. So I got in on that session, and with that session was James Ingram, who was only about 19 years old, Patty Alston. They were all doing background on this first album on Ray Charles Studio. And I never knew who they were because we were all getting started. And then later on, I was reading an article by James Ingram, and he mentioned the fact that when we were working on that album, that he was and Patty were one of the backup singers. And to this day, I laugh about it because we were all trying to get started, in the field. And, later on, things came when it came. He became a great star, him and Patty both. And I just feel very fortunate to have worked with those guys.
I love their music. They've done quite a few tracks together.
Yeah.
Now, talking about working with artists, have you got any? Well, there's bound to be loads of stories, but have you got any funny stories that you can share on air with our listeners?
Yeah.
But think of a major one. Go on. Let me know.
Well, I can share one if people remember. Buddy Miles from Buddy Miles Express. We were playing the Whiskey Go-Go, the Undisputed Truth. We were playing at the Whiskey of Go-Go in Los Angeles. It used to be called the Whiskey of Go-Go. And we had big afros back then. And a friend of mine had just brought me a brand new afro comb with a gold handle on it from England, because my mother-in-law is from Ipswich. And so,
all right, okay.
Yes, so I got a gift when they got back from England, and I was at the Whiskey. We were performing, and I went to comb my afro, and I couldn't find my comb. And I look up, and it's in the back pocket of Buddy Miles. He was trying to steal my afro comb. And so I ended up chasing him down the hall, and everybody's looking, and I'm making a big fuss over this afro comb. And I was just thinking how funny it was because, nobody has afros anymore much. There's a few here.
No.
But a lot of people don't know what afro combs were. But they were just kind of like big cake cutters, if people remember. And I just remember chasing him down And he was so stoned, I don't even think he realized what he had done. Stoned. Boy, they party back in those days.
that was the thing in those days, you know what I mean? Of course, you know, it's yeah, of course it was.
Well, you know what they say.
What's that?
Well, they say you put 5 stoned people together and they start a band.
And they're a major hit.
Yeah.
Right, as a musician, right? Who would you like to collaborate with? Is there anybody you'd like to collaborate with out there?
Right now, yes. I would like to collaborate with. I still like Toni Braxton. I'd love to do something with Toni Braxton.
Yeah.
I love her voice, and I just love the way she sings. And to be able to write a song for her and do something like that, to me, especially since I'm doing this new type of music, I'm doing, I guess you would call it JB, what would we call it? JDB. How's that? It's jazz, blues, and a little bit of gospel.
All right.
So I guess you could call it, it's kind of a fusion blues, but I think it would work perfect with her. I'd love to collaborate with Toni Braxton.
You just get in touch, man. You know, it's got to be easy to do. Hello, Tony. It's Jesse here. Yeah. You've worked with loads of writers and producers of your era. Now, do you have any favourites? Or are there too many to choose?
Well, no, I do have a favorite. Once again, Norman is one of my favorites. But long time ago, I worked with a guy named Eddie Langford. And Eddie was an independent producer back in the 70s. And he did a few songs, not a lot, but he was a great producer to work with and kind of started me off with understanding also how to put songs together, how to make tracks work and stuff like that. So he was one of my favorite. But overall, I have to admit, Norman Whitfield and Willie Hutch, Willie Hutch being another Motown guy, we became really good friends, did a lot of fishing together. And I did several songs with him that before he passed away. And when we had the earthquake out here in California, that kind of broke up that little collaboration at that time. But he's one of my all-time favorites.
Right. You've written tracks for people like Junior Walker. How does that come about? Do the artists approach you? Do the manager approach you? Or do you write something and go, hey, I think this would be good for you to sing? How does that all come about?
Well, that came about, once again, because of Norman. Myself, my bass player, Mark Cannoli, and the keyboard player, Walter Downing, we were doing a lot of work with Junior. We were backing him up on stage. We were also doing some studio work with him. And Norman came to us and said, hey, can you write some things for Junior? Because you guys have kind of a jail system going on, and maybe you can come up with some great ideas to help his album. Yeah. So his album, Backstreet Boogie, we actually co-produced that with Norman. And like I said, we were very good friends with Junior. And the album turned out to be a very good album. I like that album. And plus, Junior also did on my Mama Tappy album, I have a song called Something on Your Mind, which was my first funk group with Norman. Junior Walker did the solo on that song, and that kind of started the whole ball rolling. And he played it so sultry, it made me want to just find a woman. No, I've never heard that track. Yeah. You're going to have to get that to me, because I will.
You're going to get that to me.
Junior did a wonderful job on that song. I've got to get it to you.
Right, let's talk about Issy Martin of today. All right, now you've got an album up for release in October. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
I have an album called Outrageous, and it's not completed yet, but almost got it done. I can't really give it a single genre name, but I know it has a little bit of everything as far as blues, R&B, a little fusion, as they call it, and jazz. I love it. It's one of my favorite, I think, that I've done. And once again, it'll be coming out in October. It's called Outrageous, and it just kind of shows the years that have gone by, you know.
Will there be any gospel on there?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it will. I did one this morning at the church that I performed at. One of my brand new songs called "Can't Imagine," and it's got some great stuff. It's I don't call it so much gospel than inspirational.
Yeah. Inspirational, yeah. So are you going to be releasing any tracks prior to the album so people can actually get a taste of the album or not? Yep. Yes,
I am. I've got 2 already that are going to be probably ready to get in about 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. And which ones are they? Do you know which ones are going to be?
I will make those available. One is called, let me think in my head here. I got brain damage right now. He Gave. It's called He Gave, one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one is Ask Him.
Right. So that's a watch out for in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and so we're looking at around about 4 weeks for those. I'll be putting out some notes so people can get either early buy.
Yeah.
And so you can get it before the album actually comes out.
That's going to be good. That's going to be great. Now, PAs and live performances. Are you up for any in the near future, or are you going to keep them until after the album launch?
No. We're actually looking to do some performances to help promote the album. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. If I could find a way to get to England, that would be great.
Funny you should say that.
I could spend some time in England.
I think half of my LA family could do that as well. Actually, they all want to come across, and we're in the process of trying to get something like that organised. But as you can tell, it's a mammoth thing to do. But we'll get you all over here. It would be one massive tour of that. It would be absolutely brilliant. It would be absolutely good to do.
Yes.
But I think
I'm
I
also
need a bit of help.
shooting some videos for you. I'm gonna shoot some videos for you also. I've got
that'd be good.
I got a production company that I'm working with called Miller Bell up in Lancaster, and we've already talked and did some ideas about doing some videos on a couple of the songs. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good because you nowadays, in the days of the internet, you can't just release a track. You've got to have some sort of video to go with it, because your main exposure now is YouTube and video. And if you don't have a video to go with that track, sometimes if it doesn't get a proper airplay, it'll go by the wayside.
Yes.
So I think you've got to get the old video in action and get sorted.
Absolutely. And so I'm going to be working with that company, and we're going to come out with some great video work.
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be great to look forward to. Now, finally, is there anybody you would like to thank or send a message to?
Well, I always like to thank my creator because, everybody says it all the time, but let me tell you, I've known times when I wasn't in the best of mind, and without that type of support, I probably would have thrown things to the side. But I'll give thanks to my creator, and then I'll give thanks to all my family and friends and all those I've worked with in the past that have given me the ideas of creativity, including Steve Harris.
Well, no, the last time we spoke properly was at the UBN studios, wasn't it, for the Legends in Music tour. And we didn't really get a chance to chat that much because it was like, 30 artists in 5 minutes each one or something stupid like that?
Yes, Pushing time.
But it was mad. But I tell you, I'm so glad I've had the time now to relax and have a chat with you and have a good chat with you properly. Actually, I forgot to ask you this. We have some fans out there, new and old, that are tuned in. How can they follow you? How can they get in touch?
Well, we've got my website that's it's being worked on now. It's called izzymartin.com. You can go there and visit my website and get all the details and updates and even the information on the releases that are coming out and also some of the old stuff. So izzymartin.com, ISYMARTIN.com, will be up and available probably within the next 48 hours or so. There, like I said, it's down.
Oh, well, there you go. That's quick. That's great.
Yeah, that's because we got, we had to take it down because, they have to be maintenance. You know how that works.
Yeah. Well, we've been waiting on our website now for about 6 months now. Isn't that right, Paul? Hello, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have we been waiting on our website now? About 6 months?
Yeah, we got lots to do, though.
Yeah, we've got stacks to do.
Yeah.
And again, it's
a tour.
Yeah, and you've got to do it right to grab it.
They'll also be able to see how good looking I am.
Oh, you are good looking, man. You are good looking. And the good thing about it is you're only 25. That's the goodness about it. And I'm only 21, so that's it.
There you go. Well, that's
hey, right, Izzy, man.
They go, Izzy, are you 25? I go, yes, I am.
Yep, yes, I am. Hey, Izzy, man, it's been a pleasure. Honestly, it's been great chatting with you, mate. And I can't wait until September, and I'm back in LA again, and I'm chatting with you guys because we're going to have another.
Yeah.
The meet and greets are getting bigger, We took over a restaurant last time. I think we're going to be taking over a hotel this year. So it's going to be massive. It's going to be brilliant.
Well,
so
I'm going to be performing on September. I'm doing a performance on September the 7th. I don't know when you're going to get back in.
Oh, no, I don't arrive in Los Angeles till the 24th.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll find something else to do then.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
Right. Coming up.
We'll get down the Whiskey A Go. Yeah. What we should do is go down the Whiskey A Go, all right? Get some afros, get some afro combs, and get stoned.
We can do that.
Oh, man.
Love beat.
Yeah. Oh, my cheers. It's been brilliant. Right. Right, so, yeah, we'll have to catch you later, man, good man. All right? Don't go away because I need to chat with you quickly. All right? It's been a pleasure, mate. God bless you. Bye-bye now.
God bless you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.